Hello, Flat Earth researchers, debaters and debunkers. Let's talk about leaving the cult of heliocentrism and becoming a flat earther, and how we realised we were raised by a space cult. Hello Callum in chat there. Alright, just let us know if the sound's coming through okay, will you? And I'll just prepare some refreshments here. How you all doing? Alright? What are we, Tuesday? Not that it matters. It's just another day in the week. Alwyn, audio is all right. Thank you very much, Alwyn. That's great to know. Yeah, I should have carried on talking just to make sure it was coming through, but that's good to know. All right, Philip. Hello. Afternoon. Dr. La, sawadee ka. And Q. Hello, sawadee ka. All right. Okay. So, yeah, you know, the last few months has been an excellent example, hasn't it, of the cult mentality we're faced with, the globalist, heliocentric cult. Yeah? So it's great. Of course, there's this misunderstanding that Flat Earth is a cult. So maybe let's address that first, or we can kind of address it because, you know, I just got this description down there of this, a cult in general. So, you know, a cult is described in general as, you know, excessive devotion to an object or a belief system. So, of course, the object we're talking about is the globe Earth, yeah? And the belief system is the heliocentric belief system, all right? So, you know, we've seen especially this kind of modern day globe thing. There's nothing ever spoken about geocentric globe. It's a heliocentric system, yeah? So that's the belief system, the Big Bang heliocentric system. It's all circling around the sun. And of course, the object is the globe. Now, you could talk about things like gravity and things like that, I suppose, as part of the doctrine. Yeah. And then, so we've got these leaders which preach an explicit belief system or ideology. Again, you know, the heliocentrism, there's no, like, you know, even if you talk about, for example, electric universe, and you assume that it's still a heliocentric system, but you talk about an electric universe, you go and see the arguments and rhetoric and, you know, the horrible vitriol that's directed to anyone just simply questioning whether we live in an electric universe. Yeah? You've got the same kind of cult mentality with the heliocentric, you know, the Newtonian gravity, Einsteinian gravity, whatever. Yeah? I mean, these guys are really hardcore into their thing. So you can't even question, even if you question the kind of the mechanics of the heliocentric model, people are going to come at you, you know, claws out, yeah? So it's a very explicit belief system. Heliocentrism is a very specific belief system or ideology, yeah? Of course, it's ideology because, you know, it's the Big Bang. We've got this idea of evolution. So the material world came first without consciousness, without thought, without intelligence. It just boomed into life for no particular reason, all right? And then kind of consciousness developed after certain things just developed on their own without reason. Things evolved just because they had to eat and things like that. And eventually some intelligence came along and somehow made its way into this material world, yeah? And again, it's without question that it's that way, yeah? And this is unquestioningly followed by the believers. Yeah? Hi, Charles. Yes, you're very right. The cult of scientism is very real. Well, it's very real. Do you mean it's very real that people believe it, or you mean the cult of science is very real. I'm curious as to what you actually mean by that. Yeah, can you be a bit more specific, Charles? Yeah. So yeah, and of course it's unquestioningly followed by the believers. Yeah. And so when you start to realize, don't you? You start to realize that you look around and you can wake up for many reasons. Yeah, you wake up to the kind of the globalist cult, the for example the political narrative or whatever it is. You see that politics is a sham. You're given this left-right dichotomy, yeah, and people argue about that endlessly, or you're given a royal family to adore, and what have you, yeah. Hi, FPV Angel. Hello there. Yeah. So when you start to wake up, when you start kind of questioning reality and seeking truth, then you start to see around you, and maybe it's just they kind of come together. You see these things around you that like you see people behaving in crazy ways, insane ways, cult-like mentality. Yeah, that's right, FPV. All we've ever been sold is belief systems. Hello, Uncommon Sense. Yeah, Skinny Nick is in the house, yeah? I wouldn't call myself big, just tall and skinny, like a beanpole. Yeah. But that's it, isn't it? You start to wake up and you start to see that people are in these belief systems. You might have seen it at school when you were a kid. You see people following certain... being swayed by the media. I remember when I was, Nike came about when I was a kid, and it was like, not every kid, but a lot of people wanted the Nike shirts. Yeah, and it was just, they were expensive, and they were, you just see this cult mentality developing. Yeah, you see people forming into their little cult groups, but you also see that they are being mind controlled. Yeah. Into certain things, and of course the teachers are doing it. They're instilling fear, and they're instilling this kind of culture of shaming people when you can't get things right. I mean, sure, you've got good teachers, bad teachers. Ultimately, not everyone's in the cult, and not everyone's in the cult willingly. But you see varying degrees of it, don't you? This is it. You have to use your discernment, and you see that a lot of people just don't have any discernment. So again, it's a mistake to brand anyone questioning the official narrative as anti or just you could see that people were branded anti-vaxxers just for questioning this whole rollout. Yeah, all of a sudden you're branded with this label, and of course the media joins in, and we see that the believers are the worst. You've just got people putting out the propaganda, but it's the believers. Yeah, and then you read stories like 1984, and it resonates so strongly because you can see how these things are put in place. You hear about North Korea, and then you look around at Western society and you think, well, there isn't much difference. You see the propaganda in the newspapers, on the posters, yeah, and then you see people following the propaganda without question. Yeah, so you see it happening all over. And yeah, so we have this cult of globalism. Yeah, FPV. Chastised for going against the narrative. Yeah. Uncommon Sense. I swear most people we encounter have no internal monologue, just believe. Yeah, it's interesting that, isn't it? Because that's a good point. If you have some kind of monologue or internal dialogue, then you can at least have that conversation with yourself, can't you? But if there's no dialogue or monologue going on, you wouldn't recognize it. And I wonder whether people have it. RH, non-vaxxer. Yeah, okay. And I'm sure most of us here didn't get the jabs, did we? Yeah. Andrew Bullman, hello. At school in assembly, out of nowhere, the national anthem played and everyone just stood up and sang it. No prompting, never practiced singing it. Not told we would do it. It was very weird. Really? Okay. Yeah. You mean that was on a regular basis, or it just kind of happened once and everyone just jumped up and did it? Yeah. Okay, you got to go. All right, cheers, Uncommon Sense, man. Yeah, thanks. Catch up, man, whenever. Hopefully it will still be here. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're right, FPV. That's where professors fail. They just repeat what they cannot prove themselves. I can't do it. Yeah. So this is it, and to be honest, flat Earth might not be a thing if you didn't see such strong reactions from the existing heliocentric cult members. Yeah, they are their worst enemies. If they really wanted to put a stop to flat Earth, then they wouldn't be so devious. They wouldn't be so nasty. Yeah, you've got this. Of course, what's funny is that you start asking, okay, how did people come to believe that we live on a globe? How did they find out the globe? What's the science behind it? And you start looking, and you get a bit of a history lesson. Eratosthenes, Newton, and what have you, and then Kepler, the big whatever, and they talk about expanding universe and this and that. Yeah. But then you see that, this really starts to have the connotations of a cult. You've got just a handful of people, and they could be living or dead, that are revered for giving us this heliocentric model. And then you look into it, it's like, well, again, it's all about looking up into the sky. Everything, all about looking up. The telescopes, yeah? There is not one single direct measurement. And you ask them for a direct measurement, and they cannot provide one. And so you look at this recent debacle with the whole final experiment. Yeah? You just look at it. Total cult mentality. Absolutely. There they are calling the flat earthers cult members, but we're not, because we don't have a leader. There they are trying desperately to point at people as being, oh, that's your leader, that's your model. No, they're just making that stuff up, trying to make it look like a cult, yeah? When they are the ones in a cult, because they have this rigid belief system, yeah? But they have, every single aspect of the heliocentric belief is something that cannot and has not ever been proven. Never had a direct measurement of any of these things. And then you realize that they see a rocket go up and they hear the story that goes with it and they just totally believe it. Yeah? And of course, the first thing you hear when you go against the globe, you start questioning the globe. Well, satellites, ISS, people floating in space, yeah? Good point, FPV. We want answers, and theirs fail miserably to quench the investor. That's a really good point. Hello, Happy Joy Joy. Hello there. Just see who else is in there. Have I missed anyone in the chat there? Dorian Gray, hello. Okay, sorry, I missed your comment there, FPV. Yes, it's all reactionary and with anger. It's quite funny watching their meltdowns when they fail to give a real explanation for whatever it is under inquiry. This is it, yeah? If they felt safe and secure and confident in their science, they wouldn't have to do any of this. They wouldn't have to belittle you. They wouldn't have to twist the meanings of things, yeah? And, you see that the way they win an argument is by, for example, you talk about horizontal level. You say it's horizontal, and they'll say, no. It's perpendicular to the downward acceleration. And it's just like, there's no need for any of that nonsense, yeah? They won't keep it simple. They want to confuse it, and they want to add their own way of describing things according to their model, which was never confirmed, never measured. Yeah, and yeah, you ask them for the you ask them for the simple thing, the simple measurement, the simple fundamental measurements that they would require for their belief. They don't have them, so they go ape on you. Yeah, and so this is it. You see the signs. Yeah. Hello, Thomas Morgan, Mike Peterson. Hello. What's that? The club makes everything in opposition to the Bible. Yeah. So, I got a couple. I will actually go through some official documents in a minute. But I mean, I've just written a few things here, like on my board. You don't really necessarily have to see them, but one thing they do is they assume this superior intelligence. You're a stupid flat earther for saying where's the curve, or it looks flat to me, so it must be flat. Tim Holder, hello, yeah, and it's like, well, okay. The thing is, again, it's worth. I say this again and again and again, but I think it's really worth pointing out that, your average glober, space advocate, heliocentrist, yeah, thinks they are smart, and thinks the flat earther is stupid, or pretends that actually I think they know that we're smart enough to see that it's a lie, but they use it against you. Because the only way that you can arrive at the understanding that we live on a globe is through deductive reasoning. Yeah, we talked about this in the last one, right? You're given the premise that we are another planet, or we must be another planet because of this, that, and the other, yeah? So, there's never ever been a direct measure of curvature, but you can only arrive at the conclusion, just like they're talking about not once when they're talking about this 24-hour sun in Antarctica, not once have they mentioned being antipodal or curvature. Not once. Yeah, because it's a topic they cannot actually talk about and measure directly. You have to just assume it through deductive reasoning, yeah? And it's like, yeah, we get that. We understand that it's all been done through deductive reasoning by looking up at the sky instead of down at the ground. But, they've convinced themselves that they're smart, that they can deduce this from looking up rather than just taking a direct measurement. Yeah? And then they come back with you, well, where's your measurement of flatness then? And it's like, then they haven't even realized that they're just showing that they don't ever have anything that's ever proven that there is a curve on the surface of the Earth. Yeah? And this is the thing, when you start questioning horizons. I think, I might not be a flat earther if they weren't so adamant about horizons. Because you start looking at horizons and you realize that, wow, horizons are perspective. It's not Earth curve. It's not physical geometric shape. It's like, this is how we see the world around us. But you could actually, at that stage, when you realize that horizons are not curvature, you could actually go along with, well, okay, the Earth's really big, and I'll go with that because my vision is limited, but they will not concede. They will not compromise, yeah? They say, nope, horizons are curvature. And you can say, well, look, you can actually test it for yourself, and then they'll show you a picture of a low angle, low altitude shot of these windmills off in the distance, or a ship in the distance that it looks like it's gone down a ledge or a drop because of diffraction, or just because they've created this illusion of it, just like they did in that documentary, the mockumentary where what was it? They had the helicopter above the lake or something like that, and that they've just taken a really low shot. They've used diffraction to create this illusion, because the moment that you rise up, then that you see the horizon rising with you, then that totally debunks this whole horizon idea. Then you can test this for yourself. But, and so if your average glober or your heliocentric cult member would say, all right, okay, I admit that horizons are not curvature, but we still live on a globe because of this, that, and the other. You could go with that. You could say, all right, fair enough. But no, this is it. They give themselves away. Yeah? They are so adamant and fixated on this one aspect of it, they will not give. And then that's when you realize, well, they're just displaying this cult mentality. They are refusing to look at reality. They are totally ignoring reality, repeating a mantra, and even when you show them, they just won't accept it. So then they have to argue it. And then they say, oh, well, there's a horizon drop, and, that it's like, nah. And then you realize you were raised in a cult, in a space cult. Yeah? You see, so people, you know, like your Wolfie 6020s and your Bob the science guy and all that. These people, if you'd have just said, all right, guys, you can have your horizon, you might have actually kind of stopped us pushing. But no, when we see that you are totally unwilling to accept reality as it is, and you're unreasonable about it, we have the even more of a realization that you're all in a cult, yeah. And then you have to use ad hominem attacks. You have to use personal attacks. Not one of you is using science, and the same, you know, with McToon and Duffy, that you know, doing what they're doing, what they've done over the last few months. They've just proven even more that they're in a cult. And they cannot and will not address the elephant in the room, or the horizon, or the curvature, the lack thereof. They won't address it. They'll distract from it. So it just proves even more that this whole cult is based on looking at the sun and doing whatever they can to ignore real life, real world measurements. Yeah? Yeah? So you've screwed yourselves up. You just put yourselves into a corner. You've globed yourselves in. Yeah? If you'd have been a bit more reasonable, if you say, yeah, okay, we'll do this, yeah? But this is it. You all messed up. For 10 years. For 10 years we've been asking you, where's the curve? And you've been pretending that, oh, well, you finally had to admit that we can't measure curvature now. Yeah, well, that's what I find so funny. There's critical think saying that you can measure like a difference of like fractions of a gram, but you can't measure curvature over a few miles. You idiots, yeah? Yeah, you bloody idiots. Yeah. So, you know, this is it. They assume that because they use deductive reasoning, then they have superior intelligence to the flat earther that's just saying, where's the curve? Show me a measure of the curvature. Yeah? Yeah, the motion too. All these things. And this is it, you know. Again, when they're calling it the final experiment, how many different things have been debunked about the globe, or have you looked into about the globe? Of course, a lot of us were all distracted as well to start with. Yeah, the sun being 93 million miles away. Is it really? How come? You know, the ISS, are there people really floating around on the ISS? Obviously not. They have to fake it, yeah? All these other things, the vacuum next to an air pressured system, yeah? All these other things that are just compartmentalized explanations of the heliocentric model that cannot ever be proven, that go against real science and real physics, yeah? All of these things add up to us leaving the heliocentric globe cult. And it's so funny to see them still pointing at the sun and saying, there's the proof. This destroys flat Earth. Because they're pointing at the sun still. Ignoring the ground, ignoring all the other physics, yeah? So don't forget, guys, you have still yet to come up with a demonstration of a vacuum next to a pressurized system without a barrier. You've got to prove your gravity. You've got to prove that the center of the Earth, the spherical Earth that you believe in, is a molten ball of molten metal spinning around. You've got to prove your movement of the Earth. Yeah, you've got to prove that rivers go up curves. Yeah, yeah, you've got to do all that stuff. Yeah, and like Harold shifting the goalposts you're talking about. No flat earthers have shifted the goalposts. The goalposts have always been, where's the curvature? Show me a measure of curvature and you can have your globe. But no, every time you come close to that, or you argue about horizons and diffraction and this and that and star distances and the size and the distance of the sun and lunar eclipses and what have you, yeah? Yeah? All distractions, yeah? They shift the goalposts to these things, yeah? They point at the sky again. Point at the sky. Yeah? So it's just funny. It's so funny to see them still desperate to, clinging on to their cult-like belief. Yeah? You see, if you globies had been a bit more reasonable, a bit more pragmatic, a bit more scientific, you might have stopped a few flat earthers leaving your cult. But it's too late now. You've really messed it up. Yeah? Because the more you fight it, the more ridiculous you look. Yeah? So yeah, I mean, there's this aggressive defense of it. There's this unable or unwilling to compromise, like I said, with the horizons, yeah? Or with the Foucault's pendulum, yeah? Things like that. They'll bring up the Foucault's pendulum and talk about artillery, and then you point out, or you can even get a pilot to admit that there is no Coriolis force or apparent Coriolis or whatever. You know, the Earth doesn't rotate underneath an aircraft. So then you just realize that there's a contradiction there. If they're telling you that ballistics go above a rotating Earth, or the Foucault's pendulum goes above or swings in one direction above a rotating Earth, but aircraft don't, and hot air balloons don't, and rockets don't, and actually ballistics don't, then you've got a contradiction in your belief. But they won't, again, they just compartmentalize. And this just shows you that you're dealing with cult members. You're not dealing with people that can be reasonable. And that's why we all became flat earthers. It wasn't just because of one thing, it was all these multitude of things added up to realize that there is not one single piece of proof or evidence that holds water, literally. Yeah? So yeah, they cannot provide their fundamental proofs. They cannot provide them. Yeah? And then they act like religious zealots. Yeah? They really do. So let's just have a look at, I was going to bring this up, hang on a second. We'll just look at these and we'll compare this thing. Sorry, I'll go back for the chat later, otherwise I'll get distracted. Let me just grab this. Okay. I'll disappear for a second, but let's have a look at this. Yeah, I'm not sure that you can see that. Hopefully you can, but I'll read through this. So I just found this. It's on study.com. The definition or the characteristics of a cult. Yeah. So experts have determined a long list of characteristics of a cult to help people determine whether they or someone they know is part of a cult, religious practice, or a political group. The following cult criteria and cult behaviors are the best way to determine what makes a cult. Okay, so we have, first of all, a charismatic leader. Cults always follow a charismatic leader, living or dead, whose teachings are considered of the highest importance. This leader may be considered a genius or may be considered a religious figure like a messiah or a prophet. Well, what have we got? We've got Newton. We've got Einstein. Yeah? Okay, and it's all, you can't question these guys. Or if you do, then, yeah, well, you kind of do it quietly. And then, you're looking at quantum physics and what is it? The Higgs boson particle and things like that. These are all these kind of, appeal to this charismatic leader. Yeah. Okay. Oh, thanks, FP. I had to come back to the chat to see that. Good. Okay. I'll just carry on reading from because I kind of switched between OBS and the thing. Okay. So yeah, I mean, and you look at flat Earth. Are there any charismatic leaders? Really? There are people that have made some very good points. You look back and you look at those people that introduced us to flat Earth, and you could say they're charismatic. Yeah, but they weren't insisting that you believe certain things, and they themselves will tell you, don't believe me, research it for yourself, go look for yourself. That's the thing about flat earthers. No one is putting themselves on a pedestal. In fact, we would probably rather avoid being some kind of guru-like figure. We'd rather say, hey, look, I'm just passing on what I've learned or heard, and you go and research it for yourself. Do not believe the stuff anyone's telling you. Go and research it for yourself. Make up your own mind. Yeah? And we're all entitled to have our own beliefs and opinions on on what it might be. And this is it. You see what, I mean, for example, when Eric Dubay was first talking about stuff, what he was doing was introducing zetetic astronomy and this and that. And his words have been taken out of context. They've tried to put Eric Dubay across as a leader. Yeah, he was instrumental in introducing a lot of us to it. Yeah. But if Eric was not necessarily saying, this is what I believe, this is how it is, and you must believe me. He was just reporting on the kind of the forgotten flat earth zetetic astronomy that had been blinkered out and kind of squashed by the heliocentric cult. Yeah. So this is it. People try and portray these kind of modern day flat earthers as the kind of the cult leaders, and they're not. And they've even said it themselves. Yeah, they said so that you don't pull that one up. But you question Einstein, you question Newton, and they're going to slap you about a bit, and they're going to rage at you. Yeah, or you question Cox, or what's his face in the wheelchair? Can't remember. I mean, I read his book, Brief History of Time. I read his book twice. Yeah, tried very hard to make sense of it. Yeah, what was his name? You know who I mean. Just go back to the chat and see. Anyway, you know who I mean. The name's on the tip of the tongue. Okay, so charismatic leader. All right, so the flat Earth doesn't have any charismatic leaders per se. There are people that have been, again, you've had the heliocentric cult try and put these people in this position, say that's your leader, that's your model, and blah blah blah. Sorry, no, we're all just independent thinkers. Yeah. So here's another thing it says here, ideological purity. Members are strongly discouraged from questioning the cult's doctrine, and any doubts are met with shame or punishment. So look at what they do. Look at what the heliocentric globe cult members do to the flat earther, who might get labelled as a flat earther just for questioning the heliocentric model. And you say, well, how do you know the sun's 93 million miles away? Where's the curve? You idiot, you da-da-da-da, yeah, you imbecile, you're stupid, yeah. They try to shame you. Look at Simon Dan. Look at Creaky Blinder, yeah. What do? Look at Wild surreptitiously trying to shame people, yeah. And look at MC Toon. Dedicates all of his time trying to promote this heliocentric doctrine by shaming people that are questioning it. Not by giving any science, yeah? Not by giving any measurements, not by giving any direct proof, but by trying to shame you. Tell you you're stupid. And then, like I remember Wolfie saying, you've got dyscalculia. I'd say they've got dysrationalia. They can't think rationally, yeah, because they have this bias, yeah? But, you've got dyscalculia. But we all know people with we've got degrees in mathematics that understand how easily we've been bamboozled, yeah, by twisting mathematics, yeah, turning the geometry of perspective into an imaginary curve. You don't have to be a mathematician to work it out. You just have to understand. In fact, it probably helps if you're not that, you don't identify with the mathematics, yeah, being smart, okay? So we've got the charismatic leaders, ideological purity, all right? You're not allowed to question their doctrine. Conformity and control. Cult leaders often exercise an extreme degree of control over members' lives. Now look at what Duffy has been doing and MC2. They've been trying to control the narrative. They've been trying to control it. They've been saying, this is your model. The AE map is your model. Yeah, and we're going to destroy the flat earth by pointing at the sun. Yeah, all right, so They've been trying to control it, control the narrative, ignoring everything else that's wrong with the heliocentric model and everything that's right about the Earth being a level plane. It looks flat, it's measured flat. Aviation, construction, the physics of water demonstrates to us that it's a level plane with different elevation that comes to a level, sea level. Yeah? All right? So, you know, I mean, okay, conformity and control. Cult leaders often exercise an extreme degree of control over members' lives, including dictating what they can wear and eat. Okay, it doesn't go that far in the heliocentric cult. What kind of relationships they can have. Conformity is also enforced by group members who police one another. Yeah. Now, again, I'm not denying that you don't see aspects of this in the flat Earth community, right? Yeah. But, of course, actually, you know, you're allowed to be a flat earther and you can be many other things. But the thing is, by the time you become a flat earther, you've realized that the politics is all BS. Yeah, you realize that money is BS. You realize that wars are BS. You realize that people are totally controlled by religion and all this other stuff. You see all that for what it is. So, you know, being a flat earther is kind of the end of the road. You've woken up to all the bullshit. Yeah. Okay. So and you can see that conformity, but you can see that, you know, in, for example, fashion, global fashion. Look at these fashion houses that have that dictate what people will wear. Yeah. So it's in many aspects of it, isn't it? You know, how this conformity comes about, but it's still under that umbrella of being on a globe in this heliocentric model with the Big Bang creator-less place. Yeah. Okay. Mind-altering practices. Now, at first glance, you might think, well, that doesn't happen to us. Sleep deprivation, chanting, meditation, and drugs are often used to break down individuals' defenses and make them more susceptible to cult ideology. But think about it. The food, the processed food, yeah, denatured, denaturalized food. We're taken away from all that. We're given absolute crap to eat, yeah? You go into hospital, are they going to give you fruit and veg in the hospital? No, they're going to give you crap tinned processed food in hospital even. Yeah, they have no idea. Yeah. Chanting, meditation, just look at the TV. Look at the mantras. Look at what happened when, you know, for example, whether it's the Ukraine-Russia conflict, yeah, I'm with so-and-so, or it's the Rainbow Rebellion, or it's, you know, the whole COVID thing, yeah. All these mantras put out, yeah, by these people. Okay, some people are kind of developing some mantras for Flat Earth. It happens, yeah. There is some cult mentality there, for sure. Not denying that, yeah. But it's not everyone. And yeah, just like any kind of part of society, there are going to be groups that kind of click and resonate with each other, yeah. But yeah, you see that done by the newspapers, by the mainstream media, mind-altering practices, yeah. So it is done by the media, the TV, the newspapers, yeah. And there are, you know, the alcohol, the culture, all that. Okay, I'm just going to finish reading through this and I'll come back to the chat, yeah. Isolation and love bombing. It is common for people in cults to be encouraged to cut contact with outsiders, including close family members. Within the cult, new members are often subjected to love bombing, a practice where new initiates are showered with love and praise to bring them deeper into a cult and foster a sense of belonging. Now look at how they've been treating Jeren. Yeah? Oh, I respect you so much, Jeren. Yeah? For seeking the truth and being open to it, yeah? They're love bombing him, yeah? I think Jeren is probably wise enough to it. Hopefully he's like, you know, but you can see what they're doing. Yeah. If you go along with their narrative a little bit, they are, yeah, you're still not allowed to question it, but I respect you. Yeah. And they try to make you feel part of their club and everyone, you know, they try to create that division. Yeah. And this goes on to the us versus them mentality. Now, again, this does happen. This does happen with, flat earthers, but that's a kind of reaction because you've really, you've realized that you are dealing with you are dealing with a them and us thing. So yes, you naturally become that kind of, okay, you naturally then fall into that other group. But again, the flat earthers are not one group of people with the same ideas and opinions. We're not pushing the same narrative. We've all got different ideas, and we're allowed to discuss, and we're allowed to disagree. Yeah. But the Globers are sticking to that one narrative that you cannot question. And if they cannot provide answers, they get pissy with you. Yeah. So, and one big misunderstanding is that, your globies, your heliocentrists will think that flat earthers feel superior. And it's like, no, this is it. You lot are saying that you have all the knowledge. Yeah, the heliocentrist is saying, we know how the universe works. We know how creation started. We know how we got here. We know about evolution. We know about planets. We know what the inside of planets are. We know about orbital mechanics. Yeah, we know how to send spaceships off there to here and there. Yeah, we know all about the universe, life, the universe, and everything. Yeah, whereas the flat earther is saying, I don't know. I don't know what the creation story is. I can accept all manner of possibilities. So this is the mistake. You'll often hear the heliocentrists saying, oh, you flat earthers think you've got special knowledge. It's like, well, no, the only knowledge I've got is that people can be easily led into a cult mentality. Yeah, that's the only knowledge. The only knowledge we've got is that, well, if you do your research, you find out that people can be just so easily co-opted into a cult mentality, and you've taken yourself out of that. Doesn't mean that you fall into a different cult or a different belief. Yeah, you just kind of you separate yourself from that, and so the only knowledge that you have is that people can be bloody stupid, and actually you just accept that you don't know. You don't have those answers because we don't have anything that's in our direct experience. Yeah. We don't know if the Earth is a ball or not. But you've got people telling us they know it is, not because they've had direct experience, not because they got direct measurements, but because they assume they're smart because of this and that and the other, because they looked up and they saw other planets. Yeah? All right? So no, the flat earther is not proclaiming to have special knowledge. We're exploring all other possibilities. And we're thinking, okay, it could be like this. It could be electromagnetism. It could be this. It could be whatever. Yeah, we're thinking about all these, and we're allowed. We're allowed to do that. Yeah. So it's the Globers that think they have the special knowledge of creation. They got this creation story, and they're sticking to it without question. Yeah. So that you got, it's do not let people tell you that this them and us mentality comes from the flat earthers. Yes, it does in some people, but not as a whole, as a group. Yeah. Okay. Now this is interesting. Yeah, because then you've got apocalyptic thinking. Yeah. Oops. Apocalyptic thinking. Preparation for a supposed apocalypse or cataclysmic event is a major characteristic of many cults, especially cult religions. Now think about it. How many of us were told when we were kids that the sun's going to blow up one day? One day the earth is no longer going to be here because the sun's going to blow up. So we have to get off this rock. We have to go to other planets. We have to planet hop out of this galaxy and beyond, yeah? And we have to have these dreams like we can travel like they do in Star Trek and all that jazz, yeah? And I mentioned this last week. This isn't, this idea about space travel into this nothingness, yeah? That's not exciting. There's no awe there. There's nothing to get all excited about and want to do that. But the idea of space and nothingness is attractive because it takes you away from all the bullshit that we're trying to deal with on this earth. Yeah, all the starvation, the cult, the other cults. Yeah, the wars, the atrocities, yeah? All this horrible stuff, all this stuff that really messes with our heads, being on this earth, the dictators, yeah? And the politics and all this horrible stuff, yeah? The struggle, paying your taxes, paying your mortgage, getting an education, keeping up with the Joneses is horrible. It's mental anguish, yeah? And anyone would want to get away from that. So that's why space becomes attractive. That's why a rock called Mars with nothing on it and no air becomes attractive. Because wouldn't it be lovely just to get away from all this nonsense on the Earth? That's what's attractive about space. Yeah? So they got you there. Yeah? With this apocalyptic thinking. They're thinking that we're going to destroy this world with the green agenda, yeah? So it's all just, yeah, they're thinking, oh, we're being blamed for polluting the air with the cars that they sell us. Instead of giving us cars that run on water, they give us cars that run on petrol and say it's our fault. Yeah, they give us chemicals. They give us processed food and they say it's your fault. Yeah? It's all apocalyptic. If you don't do something, if you don't follow our way, then, you're going to destroy this beautiful earth that you live on, yeah? So all these things, you look around you, yeah? We are faced with this heliocentric, globalistic, cult mentality. The flat earther just wants to get back down to earth, back down to reality. They want to resonate with the earth. They want to resonate with their fellow human beings, yeah? This is what the flat earth is all about. We're all about coming back down to earth, forget about space, deal with the problems, deal with the bullshit, cut through the bullshit, and stop going off in your fantasy world, come back, let's deal with this shit. And let's deal with the fact that we don't have any direct measurements or proof of where we actually are. Let's deal with it. Yeah? Okay. Last one. Time and energy. Followers are expected to dedicate huge amounts of time and energy, and often money, to the cult, to the exclusion of their own lives, interests, jobs and families. And look at how most of us are spending our lives. Most normal people. Yeah? 9-to-5 job. Yeah? Worrying about this and paying the mortgage, away from the family. Not having that quality time with the family. Yeah? Now the husband and the wife go out to work, and then someone else raises the kids. The government, the state raises the kids. The TV raises the kids. Yeah? The internet raises the kids. Yeah? Anyone but the parents. So you look around. You look around you. Yeah? All of these things, all of these characteristics of a cult are evident in the people that are representing heliocentrism, that are anti-flat earthers, that are the globalists, yeah? It's all there. All right, let's just go back to that, yeah? Let me come back to the chat now. I've just opened that up. Let's see where we are. Just go back up, all right? And I appreciate you all contributing. I've got to go all the way up here, so let me just go up there. Okay. All right, so Thomas Morgan. Okay, you guys see it. It's awesome. All right, FPV. When it comes to prophecy, I realized they recognized cyclic patterns, things that happen at predetermined times, which suggest a repeating set. Yeah, okay. So then they get you on that, don't they? Yeah, that knowledge. They have that knowledge and they use that as a power, as a tool. Thomas Morgan, this is why they make their theories laws. Oh, Hawking, thank you, Andrew Borman. Yes, it was Hawking. Stephen Hawking, yes, thank you. Ben Flatt, hi. Mr. Cheswick, all right, mate. Our soundtrack creator for the... for everything that's going on now. You're at the stage where I no longer question them. I just laugh and take the piss. Exactly, mate. This is it. Yeah? Yeah. Just take the piss. And I think it's okay to take the piss out of anyone that's kind of like getting too het up about this, yeah? Dorian Gray. My grandparents knew it was flat as they were taught it in school. Oh, really? And taught my parents long before Eric. Okay. All right. So, okay, you've got your own opinion about Eric Dubay, but fair enough. Okay, yeah. I mean, cool. Dave Hinkle, Hawking, thank you. Thomas Morgan, God is leading FE. Okay, fair enough. I appreciate that. That's fair enough. Thomas Morgan, Isaiah 40, Luke 3, earth is made level and the glory and salvation of God is revealed. Okay, cool. Glenn Souch, hi. He's asking a question of Harnold. In your opinion, what does a clinometer or a sextant have to do with how you view them? Okay. All right. Dr. Evils, it's hard to look at creepy. Yeah. But of course, people love him because he's just helping protect their belief and their cult. Yeah, by attacking the flat earthers. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to get into the arguments about who believes what about God and stuff like that, okay? You're all welcome to hash that out yourselves, okay? Mr. Cheswick, Duffy and Co. know more about what I think and believe than I do, apparently. Yeah, they'd love to tell you, this is your model, this is what you believe. Yeah, absolute nonsense. Yeah? Okay. Thomas Morgan, space stuff everywhere. Yeah. It's very easy to find these pictures of space and this rocket and stuff like that. Yeah. Okay, I'm just slowly going through the chat. Okay, Glenn Souch. Life is a personal journey. Who are they to determine my direction? Exactly. Well said, Glenn. Yeah. Thomas Morgan, been with Jaron since 2016, learned a lot through him. Yeah, again, fair enough. It's like... Yeah, everyone has the people that they like and they follow. And again, I'm kind of try to be friends with everyone and I try not to have any enemies. But this is it. People will get compromised or they'll get this guy. And again, I try not to get into the politics there because this is really about, it's about the mind and it's about conquering those mind viruses. Yeah. But yeah, there are, people don't have to, everyone, this is it. The way I see it is that everyone's got a different talent or a skill or a focus, and you don't have to go along with everything that you just, okay, this guy says this and I agree with that. I don't agree with that or I disagree with that. You don't have to make it public. You don't have to trash them. You don't have to say, well, okay, I agree with everything except that, so I'm going to just discount everything else he or she said. It's like we're all just people with our different experiences and different reasons, and you can't always explain or get across your reason for doing something. And we all have our own journey and karma, yeah, and that's fine. Sometimes just sit back, let it all play out. Let that person have their ride, have their experience. And, things will just work out for them. And you can just sit on the sidelines and watch, and that's okay. Yeah? Jerome Sutton, flat Earth has been depicted throughout history across multiple cultures as flat and enclosed. Yeah. Well, of course, it makes sense that it's enclosed. Again, the idea of a vacuum is through deductive reasoning. Galileo was playing with marbles and studying friction. And so there's a couple of things there that they noticed that, yes, there is less air pressure as you go up. So you could model or theorize that eventually there is no air pressure and there is no resistance. It becomes a vacuum. And you can also, if you're going to consider that the stars or the planets are balls of mass, like a marble, and a marble needs a frictionless environment, and if it has a frictionless environment, it will continue forever, then okay, let's apply this non-friction environment space to our model, and that will allow the planets to move about indefinitely. Yeah, but that's just, again, it's just a theory that's extrapolated. It's not proven, it's not science, it's just an extrapolation that, okay, we need something in our model that allows it to be free of friction free. Yeah. So yeah, Mr. Cheswick, I'm with me and me alone. Always have been, always will be. It's the only way to stay true to yourself. Nicely said, mate. Yeah. Callum, best way to stay out of cults. Yeah, that's right. FBV Angel, New Age books don't help. I'll stick with our ancestors. Okay, fair enough. Yeah. Thomas Morgan, you believe the prophets? Yeah, well, I mean, the prophets, whether it's Muhammad, Gabriel, or Jesus, yeah, they all, Buddha, Gautama Buddha, the Zen masters, Tao masters, they all arrive at the same conclusion, and they're all very similar, and that's it's kind of obvious, yeah. Just treat others as you'd like to be treated. If you do good deeds, it all kind of works out. The energy goes around. It all works. If you fight with other people, then you're going to cause discord. Yeah, it's pretty obvious, really. You don't have to go any further than that. I mean, yeah, the prophets speak sense. They speak truth. Whether they did or didn't exist is another thing. Yeah, but yeah. Thomas Morgan says they told us FE would come. Really? Okay. Didn't know that. Callum Wilkinson. Jerome. Yeah, Ben Flat. It's all right. It's okay to say I don't know. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Callum, asteroids, climate, nuclear, etc. Yeah. Yeah, the moon and sun isn't going anywhere and they know it. Yeah, and it didn't just kind of suddenly arrive either. Yeah. Glenn Souch, why can't it just be for the sake of being self-reliant? Yeah. Thomas Morgan, 100%. Jerome, why won't they do another moon landing now that we have all this new tech, especially the cameras? Exactly. Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. I'm going to just scroll down to the bottom there. Hello, Lev Kung Fu. Flat infinite plane. Hello there. All right. Good. Okay. That's a good point, Glenn Souch. You also have to believe that volume of space expands due to curvature of space. Yeah, interesting. Yeah. Denise, hello there. Yeah. Good point, Denise. Don't let your life fritter away with try to find new evidence. Know thyself. Okay. Yeah, cool. Okay. Yeah, okay, that's a good point, Denise. It's just an endless game of back and forth, although I'm glad I found out the truth 4 years ago, but now I'm finally done arguing with people. Yeah, this is it. I agree, and it is, of course, it is a personal journey. You're seeking the truth, and you realise that you were, and of course, it does, the important thing is that you realise that people are important, family are important, those small experiences are important, yeah. But there is also a desire to prevent people from being bamboozled and robbed of their senses by the heliocentric cult robbers. Yeah, just as they feel that we've got to get people back into the cult. We can't. They really love it when they think they've got someone who went flat Earth and then came back from it. But if someone was convinced only by the sun, then they aren't a true flat earther. They're not a true truth seeker. They were just on the fence. They were just playing with the idea. They thought they were playing with a bit of something dangerous, yeah? But then they quickly went back to the globe cult. So if someone is convinced to go back to the globe, apparently, after being a flatty, yeah, because someone went and saw a 24-hour sun, which was always there anyway. It was always talked about. It hasn't made a difference, yeah? It's just, okay, they confirm that it was there pretty much, although there's still dispute and debate about whether that's actually been confirmed. But it's not like people weren't talking about that before, yeah? And it's not like we didn't have answers for why that is, yeah? Again, do check out FPV Angel's model. One of his recent videos shows the sun doing this in the gates, and how that can work with a 24-hour sun in the north and then the south. Yeah, go check it out. Yeah, it's good food for thought. Yeah, I know it's, yeah, make up your own minds. Yeah, so yeah. It's great. Exactly, FPV, yeah. The lights in the sky just keep doing their cycles regardless of what they tell us. Yeah, exactly, yeah. Again, if all they've got is pointing at the sky, they've got nothing. Absolutely nothing. Yeah. And I think, this is the wonderful thing about spending so many years in Thailand is that when you see that that people are not focused on that. I remember saying you introduce this whole debate thing to a Thai person and they can't see the point. It's like, why are you arguing about that? And I remember talking about the moon and talking to a Thai about how the heliocentric model says that the moon reflects sunlight. And his immediate response was, but rocks don't reflect light like that. And it's like, yeah, people who have not been indoctrinated this just see the BS for what it is straight away. They compare reality with the explanations, the so-called scientific explanations for that, and they see that that's just total nonsense. And have you noticed that a lot of the time when you're trying to get a globie to prove something, you say, okay, prove your assumption that there's curvature or whatever, and they'll go and they'll set things up. They never look at reality. They'll make some kind of analogy. They'll say, well, look, if I get this cup and I put it over here and on the edge of this car roof that's sloping, you can see that it's like, man, you're going to argue about reality. Go and measure reality. Stop coming up with analogies. Yeah? Stop making up things about like lunar eclipses and shadows not doing what shadows actually do in the real world. Yeah? This is what you got to realize. You look at all these images of the solar system and this and that. No one's ever seen it. The simple thing where you're converting a subjective observation into this orthographic view. That's totally wrong. You do not have that view. No one's ever seen these side-on views of a curve. Yeah, it's all imaginary. So when someone comes up with this orthographic view of boats on a curved surface and you're looking at it, it's like, that's not your reality. That's not what anyone experiences. Yeah, but they think they're smart because they're able to imagine this thing that's never been seen or measured in reality. Yeah. So us flat earthers in our cult of mixed beliefs are all just laughing at you guys. We're laughing at the Duffies, at the McToons, at the Simandans, at the Wolfies, yeah? Because actually you all are smart enough and intelligent enough to understand where we're coming from. But you're all too scared because you all identify with your cult membership too strongly. Yeah, and you are victims of the fear that was instilled into you at school by the media, by the other cult leaders, yeah, by the scientific community, yeah. So this is it. It's like how, when people say, how can you distrust all those scientists would have to be in on it, and it's like, no, they're not in on it. They just believe it, just like you do. But the thing is, when you won't even compromise, when you won't even agree that horizons are not curvature, when you stick to ridiculous arguments like that, even though you can be proven wrong with a simple observation, yeah, this is the thing. That's when that's when the flat earther realizes that it doesn't matter how many degrees you've got, it doesn't matter how smart you are, it doesn't matter if you were part of a team that built a satellite that was going into a spaceship, or you were part of the Cassini mission. Yeah, you understand and you see how easy it is to fool all of these people by just having them believe what they're doing is real science. And then they build something, and if you go and look at the Cassini mission, for example, and they apparently went off to, what was it, Saturn. Yeah, you got a bunch of believers. Yeah, people made this stuff. They really made this stuff. They tested it out, and you had like a core group of scientists. So people were paid for 4, 5, 6, 7 years to do all this stuff, to make this stuff. So okay, someone made a probe that could go into the, and they tested it with sand and clay and this and that and the other, yeah? But what did they get back in the end? They just got back some signals which told them that they'd apparently successfully landed on, was it Titan? Yeah? Yeah? But this is it. I mean, they all believed it. And yeah, maybe they did some real science, but Everything else was just computer models, yeah, and simulations, yeah. And this is it. You see how easy it is for people to be duped into believing things. And so yeah, they're not all in on it. No, they're not lying. They've just been duped. Yeah, that's all. Yeah, and they were so invested in it, they had no reason to question it. They were making a living for 4 to 7 years off that, the Cassini project. Yeah, nothing against them. It's okay. Yeah, but there's people being employed by government agencies to do this and that, make up surveys, and follow this green agenda. Just make stuff up. Yeah, make models. Theoretical physicists. Theoretical physicists are paid handsome salaries to just sit around and think of these models. Yeah, make up mathematical models. Yeah, just like Stanley Kubrick is paid to make up a film. Yeah, or any Hollywood person is paid, a director. Yeah, and they get into it. They get into their story. Yeah, and they really do create something. It's not real though. It's all imaginary. Yeah. So no, again, there's a misunderstanding. Nobody's denying that these people have done things, that mathematicians or people have built rockets. No one's denying that. But we also understand how easily people can be fooled into thinking that they did something and pulled it off just because they were sent some signal from somewhere. Yeah. And so, and then, for example, the Cassini mission, they described the way the signal appeared to when it landed. Apparently, it was like they said it was like landing on creme brulee. There's a crust, and of course the media loved it. That's how they got there. It became a very attractive story. Like the Titan moon is like creme brulee. Because they punctured this crust and then it was all soft underneath, yeah? Yeah? Oh. And voila. You have a story. Yeah. Magnet Mountain, hello, 33. Wow, that must have been a wake-up call for him, realising that he was actually helping them commit fraud. Okay. Where we go? Okay. Where are we? It's like they named him like a racehorse. Last hope, last chance, dark wish. Okay. You're talking about. Hang on, I'm missing some of that conversation there. Hang on, what's happening? Okay. Magnet Mountain 33 says, Will Duffy, Irish name meaning dark wish. Appropriately, he has been named with the hope of finding some blarney to this broken down, desperate last hope mission for the Freemasons. Oh, love it. That's a good assessment there. All right. It's like they named him with a race. Okay, now I understand where you're coming from. Slow-mo moon buggy. I have a friend that did computer algorithm work for the James Webb Telescope and later found out from me that outer space is fake. He was angry at me at first. That's really interesting. There you go. Yeah. And of course, this is it. A lot of us will know about those. Who was the guy? Veritism. I can't remember, but he made that famous phone call to the Hubble manager, and like the Hubble manager basically admits that he doesn't know where Hubble is, hasn't ever seen it, but there's people. This is it. These people are paid. And they're not going to question their salary. Yeah. Jamie Sutton, hello. It's almost like a rule they must tell the truth while lying if you pay attention to all forms of media, entertainment, movies, books. Yeah, that's right. And it is a bit of an artwork, isn't it? When you create something, I remember, when I was working for the newspaper, there's certain things you could or couldn't say. You can't be blatant about it. You can't write it into a headline, but you can weave certain truths into the stories, You're told to tell one side of the story maybe, but you can make sure that people are made aware through reading between the lines or whatever, that there is, aspects of the story that should have been highlighted, but you weren't allowed to. Yeah, this happens all the time. Yeah, FPV. Yeah, you're right. FPV. It's damage control. They are doing damage control. That's what this is all about. Yeah. So, Magnet Mountain, the tree Flat Earth is the, or do you mean true or tree, is the ones who looked into it themselves and didn't set up a fucking channel with a few expectations of light, and those who were held down, back, or cancelled making comments. Okay, yeah, I can understand your frustration there that you might be trying to express there. Yeah. Oh, hi, John. Blood's in there. Nice to see you, man. Oddly, and Slow-Mo Moonbuggy, oddly, that same guy also did in Silco Virus computer modeling. Ah, you're talking about your buddy. Okay. Cheswick, the gig is up, I'd say. Now it's just about keeping any remaining grazing sheep in their pen. No expense spared. No sheep, no farm. Yes. Yeah. Oh, brilliant. Yeah. Oh, it's fantastic. Yeah. Cheers, man. Yeah. This is it. Yeah. So, I kind of, where I'm coming from. I'm just repeating the stuff that we all know. We've all done our research. This is it. We know we're not in a cult. We know there is cult mentality. Oh, okay, Jerome. Thank you. Okay, that's great. Yeah. Well, welcome. That's nice to know. All are welcome. Yeah. I mean, debaters are welcome too. If they can handle it. But yeah, this is it. We're all just people, and yeah, it's understandable how Flat Earth can be seen as a cult, but it's like we're a community of truth seekers, yeah, and we're allowed to disagree with each other and agree, and hopefully we can have constructive criticism and arguments, yeah, and quite frankly, I said it before, if someone can come up with a measure of curvature, fine. Just go ahead and repeat it and see if I would be happy. I would accept the results. But this is it. By now, we know. They even tell you that we can't measure curvature. But we can measure this, and we can measure the distance to stars millions of miles away to the fraction of a degree, yeah? And we can measure the weight difference of something. One thing about critical think, yeah? Your so-called experiment to measure weight. I'll tell you what you didn't do, critical think, if you're listening, or if any of his buddies are listening, his weight measurement thing in different places. What critical think didn't do, I don't think, was first of all check humidity, because humidity does make a difference to weight, okay? And it will make a difference to what the scales will read. And we didn't do a control. You have to have a control. If you're going to do a scientific experiment, you have to have a control. So you might well have weighed your things in a particular location, but then what you needed to do was go and try that, weighing it under different weather conditions, different humidity in the same location, but also different locations just around your house. You might find that you might put some weights on your scales in your bedroom, and it has a certain reading, but then you go and move it to your outdoors, outside your house, just a few meters away, a different location, and you've got a slightly different reading. But no, of course, what he did was he took one reading here, didn't make any other readings in any different conditions, and just assumed that that was your one reading, didn't have a control, yeah, and then went off and so, but again, if you're trying to make a weight difference measurement in different latitudes, because you assume that there's curvature, what you got to do is measure the curvature in the first place, yeah? And as P-Brain has pointed out, if you're talking about, the difference in weight of a spinning globe, well, what happens is just like, we're supposed to be on a pear-shaped globe because everything would be pushed to the equator. So you wouldn't, if you're on a globe, I wish I had something round here. Let's imagine this is our globe thingy, yeah? Then something here isn't going to be thrown outwards that way, or that, what I mean is its weight isn't going to be reduced that way because it's spinning, is it? It's going to be thrown off that way or towards the equator, yeah? So again, these idiotic measurements at latitudes are totally misconstrued. First of all, you don't have a measure of curvature in the first place. That's what you need if you're going to assume that gravity and weight changes on latitude, yeah, and you're ignoring humidity, which does affect weight, yeah. So as far as I'm concerned, it's not even a proper experiment because there was no control, yeah, there was no measure of the curvature that you assume in the first place, yeah, and you're assuming that this weight difference is not, it should be going off to the side, not directly up, because you're on part of the side of a spinning globe. Yeah, it's just absolute nonsense. Yeah, just like P-Brain pointed out, it's like, you know, cylinder Earth. Yeah. So yeah, all a bunch of nonsense. Yeah, anything but actually measuring the curvature. So there they are, pretending that they can measure things down to the micro, millimeter, or gram, but you can't measure 6 foot of curvature across a couple of miles. Yeah. And these people pretending to be expert pilots with their drones and everything like that can't measure any curvature whatsoever. Yeah. So yeah, it's just, this is it. This is why you end up leaving the heliocentric globe Earth cult and becoming a flat earther, because the Earth is how it presents itself to us. It's flat and it's level. It looks flat because it is. Yeah. And yeah, while we got distracted with all these things about the sun and the stars and working out what this and that is and satellites and cables and this and that, actually, fundamentally, it comes down to where's the curve? And, you know, it's measured flat. Yeah? So what's that, Magnetic Mountain? Game is up because now we have a motor, the motor operandi. It doesn't matter about the rest of humanity. Even our influence alone will cause them untold harm as people start to see the truth and light. Okay. Dr. Evils, I came for the continental breakfast. Right. Mark Art, hello. Look at the painting by Alex Colville, Pacific. Ooh, okay. I wonder if I can look at that now. Just a second. Ah. Okay, let me just bring this up a second. Let me try and bring this up in the thing. Try and get rid of the text a second there. So, I'm just trying to work out what this picture is and why we should be. Let's just try and get a big version of that. Okay. Ah. Sorry, it's not an ideal. So what's this all about? Alex Colville, Pacific. Okay, interesting. I'll not sure what to make of that right now. But we'll check it out. Have a think about that one. Maybe do some research into it. Oh, shows FE. It shows FE, does it? Okay. Oh my God, the lunatics, aren't they? Mind the lack of imagination were a huge help to us. Okay. Andres, hello there. Ah, all right. Huckle picking bear. All right, it was great. Great to see some kind of newish people in there. Thank you very much for coming along. In fact, what I tried to do this time was I avoided putting Flat Earth in the title and seeing if that would affect the algorithms, yeah? So maybe it did, yeah? So this is interesting to see. Bit of an experiment, bit of a social experiment going on there. Mark Hart, flat horizon blinds a horizontal table with a measure gun. Bullets are not taking into account the spin. Okay, fair enough, Mark. Okay, nice one. All right. Nate Richards, I just bought a 60 times zoom Kodak Astro Zoom camera for only $85. Okay. Kodak Astro Zoom camera. I've not heard of that. Is that okay? Astro Zoom. Is that on a par with the kind of late, the whatever they are, the other zoom cameras these days? Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Nate. All right. Yeah. Well, I think that would be a good place to leave it. And David, hello, mate. A bit late there, but good to see you, man. All right. Okay, Nate. It's a bridge camera like the P600. Okay. Interesting. Super duper zoom. All right. Oh, hello, one man. Yeah. I didn't know because I knew Kodak. I mean, I knew they were making films, and I thought they'd kind of completely gone bust. Yeah, Kodak, because they didn't kind of jump onto the bandwagon soon enough with the whole digital camera. So interesting. I didn't know they were still doing cameras, or is it an older version? Yeah. Yeah. Bloods Thicker knows about his cameras. That's for sure. Yeah. So that's very late, David. Yeah. But good stuff. Yeah. No, it's fantastic. It's always good to see the Truth of Friends come in, and hopefully this has just been a nice get together, and really just to kind of it's just that reassurance that we're not the cult members. We are diversified. Hello, Renegade. Hi. Yeah, they are the cult members. Yeah, and it's obvious when you look. You just go and look at it. Yeah, what they're doing, and they could have saved themselves by not being so insistent on some of these idiotic things and the contradictions that they hold, the cognitive dissonance. Yeah. One man says Kodak produces commercial inkjet printers, electrophotographic printing equipment, and related consumables. Because I thought they'd gone completely bust. That's what I'd heard. I mean, obviously they were the leaders, weren't they, in film, but they didn't jump onto the kind of the digital camera bandwagon. So I just assumed from various reports. So they're interesting that I didn't know they were still going. So thanks for that one, man. Yeah. Matthew, hello. Rastabear is... Oh, okay. I don't know. Rastabear is AI. Austin Whitsitt. So, okay. Whatever. Yeah. Okay. Good enough to see around curvature, but not good enough to see back in time. Yeah. INFE, hello. If you can get a high-speed global shutter. Okay, Mark Art, interesting. Yeah, there are many paintings with FE clues. Just need to learn how to read a painting. Yeah, I mean, well, obviously, art is. I mean, I'm, worked with artists in the past and created videos and DVDs and stuff with them. And one thing I noticed about the artist is that he would change his story because he was drawing. One of the artists I worked with was drawing some very detailed stuff, but every time he spoke to someone, he'd have a different story behind the art, so he'd just make it up as he went along a lot of the time. So, that's just speaking from personal experience, but that's not to dispute what you're saying, Mark Art. But interesting, I'll look into that picture a bit more. Yeah. I mean, what is behind someone who's made a painting of someone looking at the sea with a gun on the thing there? Okay, so Nate says, yeah, they're around in the USA, but not as good as Canon, Nikon, etc. Okay, but not terrible. The AZ528 Kodak came out in August 2025. Okay, it's not. Hang on, are you time traveling? Because it's not August 2025 yet, or have I missed a year? It's only just become 2025, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, so what's that? Nikon have stopped. Oh, yeah, the whole kind of Nikon thing. Yeah, Nikon have stopped making super zoom cameras. Yeah. Not sure what to make of that one. Yeah. Rune, hello. Matthew Senkow, watch Sov's latest live to see Rasta Bears. Okay. Ugh. Yeah. You know, again, to be honest, I really don't, I'm really not interested in the politics, really, unless they're just these bloody, you know. Yeah, I'm happy to point out the Globers that have like maybe attacked me first, yeah, or whatever, or attack flat earthers in general and and tell lies, yeah. But as far as I'm concerned, if you're not, you know, the non-Globers, as long as they're, you know, if they're not trying to push too much of a narrative, I think, you know, allow them to be the free thinkers that they are, you know, that's fine, because you know what, you're not going to sway flat earthers. We all know that once you go flat, you never go back, and that's because we can see through all the delusions. So, you know, it's pointless trying to worrying about that. You know, the globies are worried about people leaving that globe heliocentric cult, yeah, and are desperate to get people to go back to it. That's the impression they would like to create, yeah, and hence their focus on one or two so-called, you know, predominant flat earthers. Yeah, but I mean, there's so much more going on than YouTube. There's Discord, there's this and that. There are millions and millions and millions of flat earthers. Yeah, there are millions of people around the world who just don't care anyway and have no interest in the heliocentric cult. Yeah, the heliocentrists are actually a very small cult. You know, just like the Bill Nye and his planetary society. Yeah, these guys, they might have power and influence in certain ways on the media. Yeah, but they're not as big as they'd like to make out to be. Yeah, there are more realists and more people just dealing with everyday real life than there are people trying to defend the globe. Yeah, and they have to artificially boost their numbers anyway. Yeah, they're all just tricksters and bullshit artists anyway. Yeah, so, you know, pay them no creed, man. You know, just have a laugh. Yeah, and focus on, you know, being true to yourself, finding your own truth, spending quality time with yourself and with your family. You know, fuck wasting time going through all their footage and you know, as long as you're distracted by their bullshit, that's part of their thing. You know, okay, it took me like, okay, when they revealed their footage, okay, 10 minutes at the most. All right, 24-hour sun footage, fine, okay, you can have it. It doesn't make a blind bit of difference because that's just your distraction, and I'm not going to be distracted anymore by it, even if they want to call me out for this or call out other flat earthers for that and this and that and the other. I'm not going to waste my time rebutting their nonsense. Yeah, they don't deserve the time and the energy. Yeah, they've had their show. They've had their, yeah, they've had that. They've shot their final load. Yeah, fine. Yeah, and now you can just go away now. Okay, you've proved the globe in your little minds with your son. Okay, bye-bye. See you. Thanks. Thanks for the entertainment. Yeah. You brought Flat Earth back up again and you created more interest in it. Go ahead, make your documentary, make your money. It will just bring more smart, intelligent people with discernment into Flat Earth. Yeah? Thanks. We'll just sit here and wait until they come across our videos and they see that we've done all the work for them already over the past 10 years. All right? Yeah? Isn't that right, David, Chilster, Matthew? Nobody owes me anything. I don't owe anything. God wants me to talk about Rasta Bear. Oh, whatever. Okay. Flat infinite plane. People need to expose them liars and Freemasons. Yeah, but, you know, they do it themselves. They, you know, anyone with this is it. Once you start questioning it, you see it for yourself. Why are we flat earthers? Why? Why did we see the truth? Because we saw how desperate they were to cling on to a narrative. We saw how they wouldn't, you know, give up anything. Yeah, we saw how adamant they were. We saw how bigoted they were. We saw how they tar everyone with the same brush. Yeah, we saw how they act like cult members. Yeah. So, you know, anyone with discernment will see that. You don't have to persuade them anything. You just actually say, hey, go and look at Simon Dan. Go and look at Will Duffy. Go and look at MC Toon. Yeah, just look at them. You want to follow a runt like that? You want to follow dishonest people like that? Go ahead. Not in my gang. Couldn't give a toss. If that's your bag, off you go. Yeah. Yeah. They only exist because of us and the work we've done. They're riding off our work. They're piggybacking off us. Yeah. They do fuck all. Yeah. And they think that going down to Antarctica is going to prove something. The only thing it proves is that that's all they've got. Yeah. Stephanie, hello. Good morning from Texas. It's very flat there, isn't it? Thank you. Yeah. Space Miner, hello from New Mexico. All right. Where's Old Mexico then? Pablo's dog, hello. Even Ruhif called out. Really? Interesting. Yeah? This is it. You look at them. How long's Simon Dan been going? How many years has he been doing it? Has that guy done one single experiment? Not one. Yeah? Loads of fake subscribers. Yeah? All right? That's not honourable. I would be embarrassed. If I was making a living doing that, I would be bloody well embarrassed, yeah? You won't debate anyone. They're too scared. None of these shysters will come to my channel and debate me. They're welcome. They can have a chat with me on Skype. Yeah, we can have a debate on my channel. They won't, because they want to be in control. They want to control the narrative. That's all they can do. What is it? Sarcasm is the lowest form of wit. And that's all they do. They got no smarts, they got no intelligent, they got nothing original to talk about. All they can do is find people to take the piss out of. Yeah? And they don't do it by providing any proof. They don't do any science. They just repeat. They got no uniqueness, no smarts, no nothing. They're not creative. Yeah? And they have to make up stuff, yeah? I think I heard McToon saying something about me. He said that I was, what was it? Separated from my family. I'm here in my house in Thailand with my wife and kids. Yeah? This is the kind of shit they have to come up with to try and discredit you. They can't come up with any science. Yeah? So I just laugh. Laugh at them. Because that's all they got. Yeah? Oh, yes, Mr. Cheswick. You can get his brilliant products. Yeah. Amazing products with up to 30% discount. Salesman Dan. Yeah, you've done some good videos on that, haven't you? Yeah. 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 That's right, David. Yeah, he's the worst. Yeah. What's that, Matthew? Maybe don't trust people telling you not to trust anybody. They mean themselves. Yeah, good point. Yeah, that's right, man. Yeah. So as far as I'm concerned, the more they do, this is it, the more they expose themselves. And the more, intelligent people, smart people will just use their discernment. There's a lot of people that watch but don't comment. Yeah, they just watch and they, you give, most people are smart enough to work things out for themselves, yeah? It might take them a while. You look at, you just see just with the Rona narrative, yeah? What happened there? It's taken 2 or 3 years, but now the mainstream media is now talking about it. Now it's okay to write reports about the damages done by the jibby jab. Yeah. Now you can talk about it. Now people are able to leave comments under these stories in the mainstream newspapers. Yeah. Whereas 2 years ago, you couldn't say anything. Yeah. I for example was locked up in quarantine. Yeah. I was locked out of this bloody country. Yeah. Because of the nonsense. Yeah. But people were just trying to whatever. They just got absorbed by it. They got taken away. You just got to sit back and let them get over it. Yeah. So the same thing. It's the same thing with all these Globe cult members. The more they try, the harder they try to get people back into their cult, the more people are going to slip through their fingers and join FE. So thank you. Thank you, Duffy. Thank you, Simon Dan. Thank you, MC Toon. McToon. Yeah. Thank you, Wolfie. Thank you. Because you've done a great service. You've actually helped wake people up. Yeah. Because they've seen how rabid you are. They've seen what cult members are really like. They've seen that the heliocentrism is a cult. Yeah? And then they become flat earthers. And we say, yeah, come to our community. Think what you like. Do your own research. You're welcome to believe what you want. You want to believe in God? You want to believe in the Bible? You want to believe in this? You want to believe in that? That's okay. Let's talk about it. Yeah, you're right. That's okay. You want to come and see me? You want to have a chat? Yeah, I'll give you my address. Put my face online, on the internet. You look at all these globies. Yeah? A lot of them won't put their face out there. Yeah? But they feel safe because they're following the official narrative. Yeah? Yeah? But really, they're just scared. Very, very scared. And that's why they go on the attack. Yeah? Yeah, many a truth told in jest. Absolutely, Chezers. Yeah, you're right, Nate. That's it. Yeah. David. McToon recorded a local sun. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you just look at that. You look at it and it's a local sun. Yeah. As I said before, that, whatever the sunspots are doing, the moon, they will show the moon doing the same. Yeah. And so you've got a local sun and a local moon working in tandem. Totally destroys the heliocentric model. Yeah. And Brian's Logic also, do check out Brian's Logic. Okay. He's done some good videos. He's talking about how, we're watching a local sun. Yeah. We're not on a moving earth. Yeah. Again, it's ridiculous to think that this earth is spinning. Again, it's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. Yeah. There's one time I've been in an earthquake when I felt an earthquake in Phuket. And when you feel the ground go, yeah, you feel the crack in the ground and you feel you know that the rest of the time it's solid, moving. Yeah. What's that, Space Miner? I understand that we all have to trust information at some level, but when given appropriate evidence to the contrary, globe equals cognitive dissonance. I'm not sure. Well, whether you're a globie or a flat earther, I'm not sure. But the only evidence you need for being on a globe is curvature. Anything else is not evidence. Yeah. Hello, Graham9. Welcome back. Bit late. Never mind. Okay. Oh, thank you, Mark. Oh, appreciate that. Thank you very much. Thank you. YouTube, hello. Oh, £2 donated by Mark Hart. I really appreciate that, Mark. Thank you very much. That's nice of you. Yeah. I'm actually, my daughter, my second daughter, she's 16 now. We're applying to do GCSEs, but I've got to pay for it because it's international GCSEs because we're here in Thailand. So that will go towards my daughter's education, Mark. Thank you very much. Yeah. It costs about 200 quid per exam. So yeah. Yeah. All right. So it says, I don't know if that was also your chat, Mark. Let's celebrate their first super on a live stream. Okay. Yeah. All right. Appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Thank you. David Banner, it's absolutely nuts to think the ground is... It is, really. Yeah. Okay. Oops. Sandro, hello. Nate, 100,000 miles per hour at the equator and what? 0.2 miles per hour at the North Pole and imaginary South Pole. Yeah, it all feels the same regardless. You can jump as high. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. You don't hit the ground any faster at the north than you do at the equator, right? Yeah. All right. Oh, not a okay. Space miner, not a globie. Space is what we mine from. Okay. Okay. All right, nice one. Yeah. Okay. You can't even spell. Rebel without a GCSE, YouTube. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I figure, it's like, my eldest daughter is Ah, well, thank you. It's great to have you here too, Sandro. Yeah, my eldest daughter, she didn't. I mean, she kind of did school, Thai school, and then she eventually got a diploma. She's actually got a rock school diploma. So she, I don't know if they do it in English schools. You like music curriculum. You can study rock school. So my eldest daughter is a rock school teacher. Yeah, so she's got a diploma in that, and she did that later on after kind of, so that's what she's doing. But yeah, my second daughter, I've just said to her, look, get a few GCSEs under your belt, and either way, it can help you go your own way, follow your passion, do your thing, yeah. But if you have a few GCSEs, it will at least help you, play their game, as it were, yeah. So you got expelled from school at 13. Yeah, but look at you, Cheswick. I mean, you are a musician. You are an artist. You really are a true artist. And again, I always admire anyone that follows their passion. Yeah. And this is it. That's brilliant. Oh, David. Thank you very much, David. Thank you, man. Much appreciated. Thank you for the £2 there. Let's celebrate. Okay. Fantastic, man. Appreciate it very much. Okay. Yeah. It is going towards education. Simon Payton. So is the flat earth fixed at the bottom of a universe where there is an up and down? Can you be a flat earther without believing in a creator? So, I mean, bottom of the universe. I mean, when people talk about flat earth being the center of the universe, I mean, obviously it's the known universe that we know. We could be like a bunch of alien eggs on a row somewhere. Who knows? There could be other universes around. Our whole concept of where a universe is kind of, I don't know. So I wouldn't know where it is, to be honest. I mean, that's kind of what we're trying to find out. But can we ever find out? And is there an up and down? Yeah, well, of course, there are ways we know that we could create up and down. It could be a centrifuge. It could be rising. It could be something else. Who knows? Again, it's all open to interpretation, right? All cards are on the table, as it were, right? I don't think there's any need to draw any conclusions on anything yet. So I suppose most would agree, but I can't say I know. It's the Globies that are saying they know and they've got all the answers. Yeah. And so the other question is, can you be a flat earther without believing in a creator? I think it's just obvious that we are in a intelligently created place, yeah? So whatever or whoever or however you assume a creator to be, and that doesn't necessarily mean they're benevolent, and it's beyond any of us, it's beyond anything we can comprehend. But it's obviously, our bodies are intelligently designed. Every living creature is intelligently designed. The whole thing is just incredibly intelligently designed, yeah? And it's all symbiotic, and it's just like, wow. I mean, to ignore that is just because you want to say that, well, you want to kind of get away from the idea that there is a creator, or that we're somehow avoid some kind of responsibility. So, I mean, yeah, you can be a flat earther without believing in a creator, because the whole thing is to get away from belief. It's just that it becomes pretty obvious. But yeah, what can we prove? Well, we can prove that when we create something, then it's obvious that it's intelligently designed. It's not a haphazard accident. So when life exists, then it obviously has been created, and everything works in synchronicity, just like the inner workings of a computer work in synchronicity, because it was intentional. So that's all we can ascertain. We don't know apart from that, though. Yeah. Oops, sorry, YouTube, I'm missing Nate. Nate Richards, it takes more faith to think you came from nothing at all, for no reason, created by no one, and all designs in nature exist. That's true. Yeah, you'd have to have a lot of faith in that to just ignore everything, ignore reality. Yeah, that's true. Good point, Nate. I never thought about it. I'll use that one. I'll borrow that one if I can. Yeah. YouTube. I remember a genius lad at school and had a case with a clarinet in. We used to joke he was building a laser. Mark Art. Multiple dimensions. Carl Sagan explains it well. It could be, yeah. I mean, but yeah, again, what is a dimension? It's just like, I mean, if you think about the way the Thais see it, is that like we've got, or most Asians, I would say, is that, there are many entities and creatures and what have you sharing this space just in different frequencies. And so we can contact with them, they can tune in. And that's the thing, that's when you look at like the drinking culture and stuff like that. That's, when people drink, I think, like that really lowers your defenses. And that's when, bad spirits can get in. Maybe that's why they call alcohol spirits. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying don't. I'm not a teetotaler or anything. But when people get drunk, they get taken over by. You can just do some really stupid things. A lot of killings happen when people get drunk. Happens all the time in Thailand. Yeah, that's the thing with the Thais. A lot of the time they don't drink sensibly. Once they open a bottle, it's just going to carry on drinking till it's all gone. And then you're always hearing stories about people killing each other because they were having a party, they were drinking with their mates, and they ended up killing each other, best mates, because they got leery. Someone said something that was just didn't sit right, and then he goes in the house, gets a gun or gets a knife, and it's just like, yeah. So what's happened there? Have they been taken over by some spirit because their defenses were down? Yeah. So there's this understanding in Asia that there's good and bad spirits all around you all the time, and the bad ones are just waiting for a chance to get in. Yeah, and that's why you don't play around with things like Ouija boards and stuff like that. You're inviting these things in. Yeah, so yeah, that's like this is it. Flat Earth has got all of those things. Yeah, David Banner, we're always in perpetual darkness until the sun comes round. Yeah, good point. Talking tennis. Trudeau is resigning. Best of Flat Earth, beautiful Earth. Yeah, well, I hope so. Let's see if that makes a difference. Yeah. That's right, Lev Kung Fu. It does. It consumes them. Yeah. Yeah, Trudeau is resigning. I wonder how long that will last, yeah. What's that, Cheswick? Me and my mate done a strip in the Chippy once, about 1670. Yeah. We've all had a go at this and that, yeah. David Banner, yes, alcoholism is real bad in my uncle and I had a few friends. Yeah, that's it. I mean, obviously, it's like everything in moderation, right? But yeah, when you let it take over, yeah. Oh, you, okay, Space Miner, you get hammered by flat earthers all the time for your space part of my name. Okay. Yeah, you're right, FPV. Canada will just insert a new actor. Yeah, this is it. Thinking that it's like changing the batteries, isn't it? It's still the same old machine. Yeah. Simon Payton, hello. But like you just said, you don't really know. So how is it obviously designed if you don't know? Well, I just don't know who or what the creator is or what form it takes, yeah? But I think the intelligent design is obvious. That's all. Whether it's in a leaf, a seashell, just the way things are, the fact that it's a place where life thrives. And so that in itself is not an accident, I don't think. But I do not make any assumptions or claims to know, how that creation come about, or even why. I've got my ideas about why we're here, but at the end of the day, what purpose does that serve if we do something in this life and then we become a spiritual entity and we carry our karma? What difference does it really make at the end of the day whether we are a serial killer or a monk or a nun? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's like the good, the bad, it kind of all has to happen for whatever reason. So, but isn't it obvious that it's creatively designed? And you could even say that, okay, it evolved, but the thing is, in a practical sense, evolution doesn't work because, for example, the flowers and the bees have to work together. They need each other. So, what if the plants and the flowers came first, and people are products of the flowers, yeah? And people take the ayahuasca or the mushrooms, and well, what if it's the mushrooms and the planet, the plants are all the earth is intelligent. The earth itself is intelligent, is the intelligent animal, and it gives birth to us. And the creatures and the fairies and the people and the bears and the Sasquatch and the whatever, the ants and the, yeah? I mean, it all works. It all works. And whether there's destruction and death, there's always life and rebirth, yeah? So, when you kind of like accept this and you surrender to this, then you're not worried about your own life too much, yeah? You just see it as part of the thing that's going on, So, I mean, it's like someone makes, I don't know, you take this, for example, yeah? I mean, look at this little thing that my daughter got me. It's like a grooming kit, yeah? I mean, it was designed. It was, these little things are designed to do things, yeah? Clippers and what have you, yeah? Little ear things and zip pokers and what have you, yeah? It's designed. Well, I mean, these things all happen, the body is working away, doing its thing. It's creating shit and sweat and stuff like that, yeah? All on its own. There is intelligence in the body doing its thing. And we're totally unaware of it. We're not even tuned. We're doing something else with our brains and our mouths and everything like that. But the body is doing its thing. It's intelligently designed. And it's kind of, it's like, it's incredible, yeah? But I don't know how or why, yeah? So, hi, Simon. So that was a long answer to you. That's kind of my answer to your question, Simon. Yeah, Jerome, like with fruits and vegetables, seedless is God. That's true. Yeah, I mean, they create these seedless vegetables. Yeah. Mr. Cheswick, all I know is this: I came out of my dad's balls into the womb, out of the womb, and now I'm here typing this to you. Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? Isn't it amazing? Yeah, Space Miner, when you work metals in a vacuum as in deposition technology, if one thing goes wrong or changes, the process fails. You can't get a certain structures without intention. Oh, that's an interesting point, Space Miner. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Dorian Gray, well, linen, all other fabric is lowering. That's a good point, Dorian Gray. Yeah. What about cotton? Cotton okay? Simon. Simon says, so do you ever think that your view on intelligent design maybe edge you toward flat Earth as it more supports your beliefs? No, I think, no, the whole point of this discussion, Simon, was that the realization that it's flat is because, yeah, like horizons, it looks flat because it is. And we know how we see flatness. It's just that we don't really think about it. And so no, I never had any presuppositions about God and intelligent design, really, that would lead me to assume flat Earth. The whole point of this, what we're talking about here, is that you realize that the globe is a cult because they cannot provide any actual science. And the moment you start questioning it, they treat you like you're, they treat you like you're the devil, yeah? And so, and just looking at people in general, just observing people, you realize that people are so easily swayed into believing things, whether it's through the media, through politicians, or through teachers or whatever it is, just through group mentality, peer pressure. You see that that's what people do, and you see that they believe stuff, and they'll attack others that don't conform. And so that's really what it is. It's just like, no, it took months and months of self-questioning and investigation, and then it's like, yeah, the Earth really is, it's a level plane. And the whole thing is about the globe, and heliocentrism is from looking up in the sky and all this stuff. So there wasn't any the whole thing was to get away from belief and preconceptions. So it wasn't anything else apart from seeing people getting wrapped up in this cult mentality, and then realizing, I remember having this very, very stark realization that, oh my God, I was in a cult and now I'm out of the cult. It was like a smash in the face, yeah? Having that realization about 3 months after getting into Flat Earth. Yeah? It was like, it's that heart-stopping moment. You think, oh, I was in a cult. Oh my God. But I'm free. Yeah? So, so Simon, I hope that answers your question. I mean, it was just like intelligent design was kind of there. It wasn't really anything I really thought too much about. But then started thinking about it as well, and it's like, well, yeah, obviously. Yeah. Dorian Gray. What's that? Sorry. Linen has a frequency of around 5,000 hertz. Really? Okay, which is 50 times higher than the average human body's frequency of 62. Wow. Thank you, Dorian. That's excellent education. I really appreciate that. Okay. Nice one. Okay. So, yeah, linen is really nice, isn't it? Yeah. And so organic cotton, you say, has a frequency of around 3,500 hertz, while conventional cotton has a lower frequency of around 2,500. Okay. Yeah. And you say silk is 5,000. Yeah, you see, I prefer, cotton to silk, because with silk, you've got to kill the silkworm. They boil them up. I've seen them making silk up country in Thailand here, yeah? Obviously, cotton is it's from a plant, yeah? But silk is from a silkworm, so I kind of feel sorry for the silkworm, yeah? Okay, Simon, Peyton, thanks a lot for your answering, honestly, mate, and taking it. Okay, well, thank you for asking, Simon. I appreciate it, and it's really nice to talk about these things, and I'm sure other people have got their own versions of it. I'm just speaking for myself, right? So this is why when I say welcome Flat Earth researchers, debaters, and debunkers, this is a kind of conversation I'd love to have. So thank you, Simon, for doing that. I really appreciate it. Yeah. Jerome Sultan, if you don't believe their narrative or popular beliefs, you're seen as crazy or something else. Yeah. Cheswick, George Carlin said this: learn to not give a shit in life. It will help. Definitely. Yeah. Chilling. Funny you say that. If you've got a difference of opinion, some people will cast people aside like a spunky. Thanks, mate. I didn't want that image in my head, but okay. Spunky tissues. Oh, God. Someone change the subject, quick. Oh dear. Dr. La, Nick, would we be able to meet up if I go to Thailand? Of course, yes. I've met up with a couple of guys this year. I met up with Matt Luke. I met up with him recently. So yeah, if you make it to Phuket, it's difficult for me to get to Bangkok or places like that, but if you make it to Phuket, definitely, yeah, please do come by. Yes. So, yeah. Oh, what's that about hemp? Hemp is 100 to 5,000. No wonder they buried the hemp. Ah, interesting. Okay. Wow, Dorian Gray. I'll have to check out your channel if you've got information on your channel about that. It's fascinating stuff. Really great stuff. Yeah. So. That's all right, chilling. It's fun. It's fine. It's all in jest. I know. Lev Kung Fu. Nick, I've already shown we came from the flowers and the realm being conscious. Yes, you have. Yeah. So yeah, do check out Lev Kung Fu's videos if you haven't already. He's got a good take. You're welcome to agree or disagree, but yeah, that's kind of like I consider the Earth to be intelligent, and this, and like everything is created from the Earth. Yeah. So one man. And all reality, we have all just a lower form of consciousness cult. Yeah, we've all just left a lower. Yeah, you're right, man. That's it. One man, isn't it? You have that realization that, man, it's like, that is a low vibration cult, because all they want to do is just smear you and take the piss, and it's devoid of anything. And that's the thing. Heliocentrism, the whole space thing, it takes that awe of creation that anyone would have, and it directs you up there to outer space, to nothingness, instead of down here where it should be. Yeah? Okay, Dr. La. You might plan to go late this year, so you can just you can just contact me by email. I'll put it in the chat right now, but it's also on the channel. That's my email in the chat there, but you can find it on the channel about thing, Dr. La. So yeah, do get in touch. Professor Phil. Well, hello, Professor Phil. Well, you say, so when Cassini cameras sent back photos of Saturn, where did those photos... Well, first of all, they're telling... How far away is that? It's like 1 billion miles away. Okay, yeah. So those photos could have come... And it's funny, what was their first reaction? They said, oh, it looks a lot like Earth. In fact, one of the photos, I think the guy said it looks like the Great Lakes. Yeah. So I'll bet there are places on the Earth that no one has ever seen, that no one's flown over. Yeah, you could go to places in Mongolia that no one's ever seen and take an aerial photograph and feed that and send that by some radio signal to the people at Cassini, and they would just bloody well believe it. How would they know any different? So, Phil, it's not about proving that it's fake. You've got to prove that it's real. Yeah? And this is the whole thing. We understand how easy it is to dupe people. So you show them a picture of some rocks and you say, that's Titan. And it's taken from this probe that sent it to this, and then that signal was received. Yeah? It's so easy to fake. If we can think it, they can do it. Yeah? And you know, or somebody just makes up a model of this terrain. They had 7 bloody years to fake it, mate. Yeah? So you can't go assuming that there was an actual probe going to some bloody rock off Saturn. Yeah? 1 billion miles away? You really think that they can send a signal 1 billion miles? In fact, when they first tried to do it, apparently they had to kind of reprogram it to go around. They had to do this because it was a Huygens. I think there was Cassini, but there was a probe called Huygens, right? That's how they did it, right? So there's this probe that had to go around Saturn 3 times before it landed. I can't remember exactly, but basically they're relying on this probe to send a signal to Cassini, and then Cassini's got to send that signal 1 billion miles back to Earth, yeah? And at first the signal didn't come through, yeah? So all the guys are doing, if you look at Cassini, what it is a bunch of people writing computer programs and then sending those ideas to JPL, and then JPL says, and it's just accessing by one computer, yeah, and JPL says, okay, run that program, and then they go, all right, we run this program, and they believe that they're sending this program to this probe 1 billion miles away, and then they wait for some feedback, they wait for a signal that goes, and they go, ooh, yeah, and that's all they know. Oh, and they receive a photograph, yeah, which has been, it's not a real photograph, it wasn't an actual photograph, it was just electronic signals converted, yeah, okay, and we all know how easy it is to do that, Phil, yeah? So, you know, you got to prove that they actually were, you know, how can you prove it? Not one of those guys on the Cassini project would be able to prove where that signal came from. Yeah, they just believe it. They just believed it, yeah? And that's the thing, yeah? One angry guy, don't be a sexual, Phil. Yeah. Yeah, that's right, FPV, he's got to assume. Yeah. Ich bin so. Hi Nick, Lily Lynn. Oh, hello Lily. On my son's account. Okay, listening into your live streams for the past months. Oh, thank you very much. Good to hear from you. Thank you. Okay. Yeah. All right. Nate Richards, but we can't redo the experiment now because we don't have the equipment anymore. Forget how to make... Yeah, that's right. Chezers, 1 billion miles is nothing, mate. They can photograph ship from millions of light years away. Yeah, I know. Science, eh? Oh dear. Oh, Squirrel Sniper's in the house. Hello there, Squirrel. Zeros and ones. That's it. That's it. Isn't it chilling? That's all it is. All the pictures are made up of zeros and ones. Yeah? And they've been doing it for years. Yeah, YouTube. I've mentioned the need to know basis to Prof. Phil. He doesn't respond to it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. YouTube, they can't acknowledge it. Yeah. David Banner. Don't make David Banner angry, Phil. Yeah? You go green on your ass. Exercising your logic isn't being a victim. Yeah. INFE. Globe cultists need to demonstrate a pressurized system next to a vacuum with no barrier, as their belief requires. Until you do that, I have nothing. Exactly, INFE. This is what I was saying earlier on, right? You know, there's Will Duffy pointing at the sun and saying, oh, globe proven, flat earth falsified. It's like, no, you've got a lot more to do than just pointing at the sun. Yeah? A lot more. Yeah. Yeah, okay, Prof. Phil. So this is it, you know. Actually, all photos sent remotely are signals. The photos from Cassini are no different. Well, yeah, this is it, Phil. We understand that, and so this is it. It's not an argument. You know, you can't prove it either way. The signals can come from anywhere, just like the signals of the people talking on the moon, yeah? Whatever, yeah? They're picked up from someone somewhere. They were transmitted from someone somewhere. You know, again, we understand that, you know, you talk about satellites. And it's like, well, if, you know, satellite signals can be transmitted from one place, they can be bounced off the part of the air, the layer, you know, and sent back. Yeah, you don't need a satellite to do it. Yeah, this is it. It's all about it's all moot points, Phil. This is why fundamentally, if you're going to argue for flat Earth, globe Earth, you've got to produce a measurement of curvature. All other arguments are totally irrelevant. They are moot points. Pointing at the sun is a moot point. Going to Antarctica is a waste of fucking time. Yeah? What you need is a measure of curvature. Yeah? And the more you start pointing at space and saying this and that and demanding that we believe your assumptions and we believe the evidence, yeah? It just shows that you're defending a cult belief, because this belief has to come from a fundamental thing, a measurement of curvature on the surface of the Earth. Back down to Earth, yeah? And I'm sure the rest of us here, us flat earthers, we'd be happy, we'd accept it. I would become a globie if you could produce a measure of curvature. That's all you need, yeah? And I would join your gang, yeah? But I'd still have a lot more questions about life, the universe and everything, yeah? But for me, for the past 10 years, it's like, where's the curve? Show us the curvature. Don't tell us to assume it. Don't assume that we're stupid because we demand direct evidence and direct proof and direct measurements, yeah? Just because you've got, you know, indirect evidence and you've got all these appeal and you're standing on the shoulders of giants and all that, yeah? It's all bullshit. We know it is, yeah? Because you cannot produce a measure of curvature, yeah? You bring that to the table, you can have your globe, and you can have all the flat earthers go back to the globe side, yeah? Produce a measure of curvature. Show us how to measure curvature, and we'll all join in. We'll do it all over the world, yeah? Yeah, and we'll all come back to the globe cult. That's all you got to do, mate. Stop talking about photographs and travelling to the sun and stars and distances and all that. Irrelevant. Earth. Curve. It's all you need. Nothing else. Dipstick Derek, hello there. Yeah, don't feed the troll, Dr. La's right, yeah. So I do hope you do come to Thailand. Let me know if you do, Dr. La. Yeah? YouTube, that guy looked like Billy Connolly. No, you can't, Phil. Again, you know, you Phil, you're talking shite because you can't even come up with a measurement of curvature. You talk about observations. You say the horizon is like an edge, and it's like, no, it's not. Yeah, horizons are not curvature. Yeah, but you guys keep on insisting. I'll tell you what. Go back to your Globe Cult members and tell them, hey, Nick at Phuket Word says he'll believe in a globe if you can provide a measurement. Yeah, And if you concede, you see, this is it. If you think flat Earth is dead because you've gone and seen the sun in Antarctica, you can all stop arguing about horizons now. I'll tell you what, you let me have my horizons, yeah? Because as far as I'm concerned, horizons don't prove the shape of the Earth, okay? Horizons are just the way we see the world. Horizons are convergence that we see in our eyes, yeah? That, it's not curvature though, okay? But I'd be happy to say that horizons don't prove anything. Can you say that, Phil? Can you admit that horizons don't prove a globe? Because you've got it now. You've got your globe with your sun in Antarctica. You don't need to worry about horizons now. So you give me that, Phil. I'll tell you what, you give me that. You say, okay, Nick, horizons are not curvature. You can have that one. It's on me. And then maybe I'll start meeting you halfway. Yeah? But while you're an obstinate dick and you still harp on about horizons, then the rest of what you've got means nothing to me because you're still stuck in your heliocentric belief, yeah? So see if you can give it up. Give up your belief that horizons are curvature on an edge, yeah? You do that, Phil, and maybe we can talk. What's that? What are you on about YouTube? What's that? He fell out with Reds and the other guy with breasts. Oh, you talk about what's his name? Brenda? No, Brenda. He fell out with Reds and the other guy with breasts. They're always on the non sequitur channel. Yeah. Yeah, this is it. They're just like, oh. They just want to talk. It's just like, stop arguing. This is it. You come along to the Flat Earth channels and you want to have banter and you want to have your voice heard. It's like, well, listen, if you'd actually be willing to compromise on a few things. But you're all just like bigoted twats. Yeah? We're all open guys, man. We're all kind of like, yeah, come and talk, yeah? And but no, you come along here waving your shitty sticks and that's what you're going to get in return. Sean Hawkins. All right. You got yourself a little beak up, have you, David? Oh, Cheswick. Sorry. One angry guy. You guys listen still. YouTube. Oh, all right. Oh, fantastic. Oh, it's great. I love it. I love the banter. I love the banter in here. Yeah. So, One angry guy says the horizon we see proves a flat plane with the fact it rises. Exactly. So this is it. Like I said, one angry guy. If the globies could give up that argument, if they would admit that horizons are not curvature, we could start talking. But this is it. They just destroy themselves. They prove that they are just in this cult mentality by saying horizons are curvature. And they say, I know it's curved. When I see the horizon, that's curvature. Yeah, that just to me it's like, yeah, that shows they're in a cult. Yeah. So listen, I'm getting hoarse now. Okay, Rob M, hello. You can see Burling Gap from Worthing, 30 miles away. You can observe the shoreline all the way up to it with optics. Really? Okay. Burling Gap from Worthing, 30 miles. Okay, 30 miles is quite a distance, isn't it? Yeah. All right. Okay. Oh, hello. Post. What's your email? Found that vid of the rainbow chasing. Oh. Okay. So yeah, my email's in the chat, but I'll put it in there one more time for you. Okay. It's nick@stretchoutmedia.com. Okay. There you go. So send me an email there. I do get busy. I mean, I squeeze in these little vids between family life and my freelancing work and things like that. So yeah, and really appreciate the super chats that you've sent today. So thank you for that. It does help because it's not easy. I might be living in paradise, but it's tough because I don't have regular work, but I do work. Okay, you've got a vid of the rainbow chasing after us down the valley. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, send me that. Nice one. Okay. Yeah, Simon Payton, I'm a Globie, as you say, but had a great wee convo today with you. It can be done just trying to say. Yeah, okay, Simon. No, to be honest, this is what it's always been about. Yeah, for me, once I started questioning the globe, I immediately got all this hate, yeah, from people, and so what I could immediately see was this big cavernous divide, and it's like. And because people were not understanding where I was coming from, or the flat earther's coming from, the flat earther is asking these questions. And it's not about being a conspiracy tard and all that stuff. There's but like it's like, yeah, I would love to bridge this gap in understanding, because really we can all, the possibilities of this place, this existence, this universe are infinite. It could be anything, yeah? But when people come to you and they're stuck on an idea that's been fed to them, and you see how easily led people can be, and you see people behaving like people in a cult, then you realize that this is the thing. We've been indoctrinated into believing stuff and told to believe things that have never been proven. Yeah? So, yeah, I mean, I'm happy to have conversations. I wish there wasn't all this hate. But this is the thing. The moment you question heliocentrism, you get people hating on you. Yeah? And so this is the thing. And yeah, so if you're, we do use our discernment. If you're the kind of, and it's not about, I don't want to convert people into believing that we live on a flat earth. It's just like we all say, do your own research, yeah? So you're welcome, Simon. As a Globie, you're welcome to talk about it, yeah? But just, you've got to realise that if you're going to come with an argument, you've got to be able to back that argument with proper science. Otherwise, you've got, we've been through all this over the past 10 years. We've all been asking, where's the curve? Yeah? So, yeah, I appreciate that. Man to man, if you're a man, or person to person, whatever you are, whoever you are, that's okay. Yeah? But, this is it. Just because we flat earthers, it doesn't mean we hate globies. There's a difference between the kind of, we all believed that we lived on a globe. A lot of us were space enthusiasts. We loved the globe. We loved the idea of exploring space. But it's the hate. It's the haters that make you realize that you are dealing with cult mentality. And again, you do see the cult mentality on the flat earth, in the flat earth community, as it were. Yeah, but that's, again, we're just dealing with people, and my mission has always been just, let's dispense with beliefs, let's dispense with hate, let's try and reach a level of understanding on a level that doesn't involve us trying to persuade each other of different beliefs. But you've got to come here with, if you're going to say the earth curves and it spins, well, you've got to be able to prove it, not with explanations, not with rhetoric, not by repeating stuff, but just with a simple measure of curvature. Yeah? Okay. Anyway, guys, Dean, hello there. Thanks for popping in. Stephanie, hi. Yeah, this is it. Yes, no one is allowed to question institutional academia, the Church of Education. Yeah, this is it, We could be... Well, Professor Phil, you say nobody hates you, we just find it amusing. I don't know, I would disagree, mate, because this is it. For me, the thoughts and words that come out of our mouths are very important, yeah? And I see people hating on flat earthers, yeah? And all I ever did was I wanted to find out the truth, yeah? But you've got people like McToon saying he's separated from his family. You've got people like Simon Dan or Creaky Binder saying you're stupid, you're retarded, yeah? I've never used the word globetard, all right? For example, yeah? I try to have that mutual respect, but they don't have it for me, and they don't have it for others, yeah? We're all people, Yeah? All right? So, take that on board, mate. Yeah? And they do hate us because what you see, the thing is, Phil, is people identify with their belief. And when you question the belief, they take it personally and they feel like they're being attacked. And so they then attack you. And this is the thing. This is what you've got to understand. We're not attacking people unless they attack us. Yeah, we're attacking the idea. We're attacking the institution. We're attacking the belief. And we're questioning the belief. But if you identify with the belief, then you will feel that you're under personal attack. Yeah? And we all know this from family members. Yeah? If you're dealing with a family member and they're a globie and you're a flat earther, they'll hate you for it. Yeah? Because you're questioning their belief and because they identify with their belief. Yeah? So yeah, we can all use our discernment, all right? And you say we find you amusing. You're still, what you're doing is you're trying to say that you'll take the piss. Yeah? Because what? Would you take in the same way that you would maybe take the piss out of a spastic or someone who was, stupid or, really literally retarded, yeah? This is the kind of schoolboy rhetoric you have, yeah? A lot of you have, yeah? I'm sure we can have a decent conversation over a beer or something, yeah? But this is it. When you start getting nasty and ugly and the ad hom attacks come out, yeah? From the other guys, whether it's not you, but it's the other guys, yeah? Then that's the thing. INFE, I haven't heard the derogatory dipstick in a long time. Yeah, Stephen McGuire. Yes, no one is allowed to question institution academia, the church of education, yeah. Yes, Graham 9, that's a good point. Love and hate go hand in hand. Hating us is a natural thing. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Brian A. Meds, Globe Seal. One man and his detector. Professor Phil Bell, I'll give you that, Phil. You never show hate, but you can't deny there are many that do. Fair enough, one man. Okay, that's a good point. Yeah, this is it. Like, yeah, and the same. When people come onto my channel and they leave comments, I'll let them go, but I will ban people that start. When they take the higher ground and they say you're stupid, I'm smarter than you, and da 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 da. And I don't want to claim that I'm smarter than anyone else, but we got to treat each other on a level. Yeah. We've got to have a discussion. But if you kind of, they ask questions and then you give them an answer and they still come back, and after several attempts of trying to speak to them reasonably and they're still attacking you, even though we understand that actually they're doing it because they're defending a belief, if they cannot come down off their high horse, they can fuck off. Yeah? Because I'm not wasting my time with them. Yeah? But if a Globie wants to come in and have a discussion, that's fine. And treat us like human beings on a level, that's absolutely fine. You're allowed to come in and I'm not going to ban you. Yeah? That's why you're still here, Phil. But the haters that will say you're retarded and you're stupid or you've got dyscalculia or, your daughter's fat or something like that, they aren't worth my time. I'm not giving them my time. They can fuck off. Yeah? So, fair enough. Yeah? Okay, well, I appreciate that, man. Okay, all right, Phil, that's nice. That's nice that we're on some level ground there. So that's cool, mate. Yeah? Okay. All right. Nice one. So, thumbs up there, Phil. All cool. Yeah? So on that note, I'm going to have to leave it because I'm there. I'm all pooped. Yeah? So, yeah. All right. And I said, Phil, it's not like there aren't flat earthers that are kind of a bit over the top as well. Yeah. But we got to take each other as individuals. Yeah. And have some understanding. Yeah. So, yeah. All right. Yeah. Auto hoax. Hello there. Just most flat earthers make sincere, intelligent arguments that are met with childish banter and adolescent bullying and ad hominem. Exactly. Yeah, this is it. Yeah, you know. Yeah, and again, you're right, David. Yeah, like you say. So, okay, Simon, thank you. I love your energy and your sort of spiritual thoughtfulness, Phuket, even if we don't agree. That's fine, mate. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, because, yeah, we are literally trying to find out where we are. And I think, maybe we never will. And I've kind of accepted that and surrendered to that. Yeah, so, yeah, this is it. There is a lot more to this than just models. Yeah, and stuff like that. This is it. It's more about. It is about finding a deeper meaning in this. So appreciate that. So thank you, Simon. Do come back again. All right, appreciate that. Yeah. So I am gonna this time gonna love you and leave you. All right. Enough of me saying goodbye. I'm gonna go. All right, I'm going for good now. So thank you to those of you who left a super chat. It's much appreciated. Yeah. Do come in. You're all welcome back again. And let's just keep on seeking the truth, hey? And putting the world to right. Yeah? So thanks a lot. Yeah? Take care. We'll speak soon. All right? Cheers.